If you're calling something junk food, why would you put it into yourself?
Yes.
You are accepting and seeing it as junk. Why are you putting it?
Hi, I am Alok and I'm your host at Fiterobic. Welcome to FitnessProChat, the podcast by Fiterobic.
Welcome to FitnessProChat by Fiterobic. If you're looking to improve your health and well-being to lead a healthy, fit, and fulfilling life, whether you're an amateur or a professional athlete, this podcast is for you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all. I am joined today by Apeksha Nautiyal for FitnessProChat with Fiterobic. Apeksha is a yoga teacher, spiritual counselor, chakra healer, Ayurvedic nutritionist, and a writer. Welcome to the show, Apeksha.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to everyone who is listening.
Apeksha, my first question to you is, Ayurveda considers food as medicine and obviously when consumed properly. Can you help us understand from the Ayurvedic nutritionist perspective, what are the food choices that an individual should make so that their doshas are taken care of and it impacts their health positively?
So let me start with this. I read this quote a long time back, which says that if we don't consume food as medicine, as a lifestyle, if we don't consume food as medicine, we will end up consuming medicine as food later in our life. So,
Very true.
which is basically what Ayurveda also says. So Ayurveda doesn't consider food as medicine. Food is nutrition. All right.
Yes.
But if we consume it like medicine, which means how do we consume medicine? We consume medicine in proper proportions as per the dosage as recommended by the doctor for our body. So if we consume food that mindfully, then we will not
Yes.
need medicine. It will react in our body like a medicine.
Yes.
It will cure our diseases. It will not let us fall sick. So that
True.
is what the purpose is. Now, Ayurveda, as I've said in the previous podcast as well, there are two things that Ayurveda says. One is if you're already healthy, for you to remain healthy so that you don't contract any diseases. That is the main thing. But Ayurveda also has medicinal science. It's a medicinal science also, right? It's a curative science as well.
Yes.
So
Yes.
first purpose is always if you're living the Ayurveda lifestyle, then you will not contract the diseases. Second,
Yes.
if you have end up coming up with diseases or, because of your bad lifestyle or because of your bad eating habits, then Ayurveda has the solutions in terms of medicines, herbs, lifestyle changes, which it will give you to cure these diseases. So both Ayurveda
Agree.
does.
Agree.
So that is what Ayurveda says about food. And when you talk about how to eat, what to eat, what is the right food? So Ayurveda, it's a beautiful science and it's a very, very customized science. So Ayurveda, like I've always said, two people go with the same disease, they will not get the same medicine or the same treatment because they are different
True.
body types. So Ayurveda starts by recognizing yourself, your body, understanding what is required for your body. Second, understanding food. How does food react in your body? What happens? So everything is made of 5 elements. So we start from there. We start from the basics. And every person is different. Why? Because the ratio
Yes.
of the elements is different in our body. Similarly
True.
in food, similarly in a water bottle, in everything. Because the ratio of 5 elements differs for every item, every material.
Yes.
And this is materialistic stuff what we are talking about because we are talking about our physical health and all of this is mass. It is material. So we understand what the material is made of. And once we understand what it is made of, we know what it needs. And then we give it that. Having said that, not
Mhm.
just this, the science is so deep that it goes on and talks about not just the doshas, but the kalas also. But it also talks about, which time period of the day has which dominant doshas. These are things that, people from previous generations already knew because they were following this lifestyle. It was part of our
Yes.
life. So they didn't have to be taught that, you should not eat after the sunset. Their lifestyle
True.
was such that
True.
they
True.
always maintained it. So you will see that is why our ancestors were not falling sick so often. They were not needing
Absolutely.
surgeries. They were not dying out of cancer. They didn't have autoimmune diseases. They didn't have
True.
stress because food is your fuel, and everything, food is what converts into energy. And this is the energy you are using for every function of your body, whether it is physical or mental. So if this energy, if you're supplying the right kind of energy, right kind of food or fuel, you will function better. And once you function better, when
Absolutely.
your body is healthy, so will your mind be. And mind is also part of your body. Physically, there
Yes.
is a structure, right? For you to, most people don't understand when we go into diets, when we want to lose weight, the first thing we cut down is on fat. And our
True.
brain is
Yes.
60% fat. Our brain
Fat.
is made of 60% fat. You are
Yes.
cutting down and you're saying, मैं बिल्कुल fat नहीं खाऊं. So you're not choosing
Yes.
healthy fats. You are saying fat is bad. I want to
Bad.
be thin. Fat is bad. You have decided.
Yes.
You are
Uh-huh.
then you are depriving your brain of nutrition. Why do you think you are so stressed out? Your brain is
True.
not getting nutrition. How will you handle it? It's not able to
Exactly.
function. You are not supplying it with the fuel. So to
Yes.
understand that our body needs everything, Ayurveda, in fact, another misconception about Ayurveda is that Ayurveda is against non-veg, or, Ayurveda prefers only vegetarian. Yes, as a
Uh-huh.
lifestyle, of course, Ayurveda says that it is not necessary to have a non-veg. But it is not
Okay.
restrictive, because a lot of therapies in Ayurveda, a lot of, disease management, medicines are made out of animal parts and animal milk and things that you may not even have thought about.
Yeah.
That kind of science. So Ayurveda, this is the concept that Ayurveda gives. Understand your body, understand how to consume food, how much to consume, when to consume, and all of that will start only when you understand yourself first. So once you know you, and then you know your food, you know where you are living, and it's not just what time of the day, which season,
True.
which
Absolutely.
which season, what is the natural habitat of the place that you are living in. Every single thing is considered. What is your age? Everything
Yes.
is considered in Ayurveda. So it is a very deep science. And the beauty is it is also very simple. If you understand the
True.
logic, you don't have to really memorize. I can look at a popcorn and I can say that, it will increase vata in me because it is light. So I know that it is
Yes.
made of air element. So it is very,
Yes.
very logical. If somebody teaches you like that, or that's what we try to teach also in the Ayurveda courses that we do online. We try to make it simple for you, because once you've understood it, you don't have to go back and refer your book. You will know,
True.
you will look at a food item, you will know what it's going to do to you, and you will make that conscious effort of choosing the right thing for your body type. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
hope that
Uh,
answers the question.
So that was brilliantly put together and very detailed. So that brings to next question that I have is, you talked about seasons, and
Right.
since childhood we have been hearing that we should always have either seasonal fruits or seasonal vegetables.
Absolutely.
How exactly, if we take references from Ayurveda, how exactly one can plan their diet around these seasonal fruits and vegetables so that their life is simplified and then they disease free?
Right. Right. So again, it's a very simple thing. What we are told about having seasonal fruits, if we understand why, if we understand the logic, and I absolutely believe in this concept, if we understand the why behind what we are doing or what we are eating or whatever it is, then we will make conscious choices on our own. So let's just understand
True.
why we say that eat seasonal fruits. What are
Uh-huh.
seasonal fruits? Now, right now, what is happening? Everything is available every time. In this
Very
global
true. Yes.
economy,
Exactly.
if I want to have a summer fruit in winters, I can source it. And forget about,
Absolutely.
I don't
Yes.
even have to source it. I live in Bangalore. I am telling you
Uh-huh.
outright that everything is available
Uh-huh.
every time. Even if I want
No,
to
that's
eat
true.
an apple from New York, I will get it.
That's
It
true.
is available
That's
in
true.
some store in Bangalore, right?
That's true.
So when we say seasonal, it is season as per that place where you are living. It is not just seasonal, it also has to be local. And we need to
True.
understand why are we saying that it has to be local. Whatever grows
Yes.
in this soil, this is the beauty of nature. Nature,
True. True.
the only thing that is able to grow in a particular place is what will be suitable to be consumed in that place,
Yes.
because it
Yeah.
is growing because the atmosphere, the climate of that place is suitable for that kind of a fruit or a vegetable, whatever it
True.
is, or a
True.
grain.
True.
Now, when we
Yes.
consume it, we are living in the same atmosphere. So, nature is giving us what we need to eat.
Exactly.
But because now I am in South India and I'm a North Indian who's used to having chapati every day. But if I'm living here, that is not going to suit my body. The climate is different. So to
True.
understand, that is the whole logic. And again, like I said, it is very, very simple. The beauty lies in its simplicity. That, why do I
Yes.
need to eat seasonal fruit? Because nature has given me this. This is the right fruit to eat for this season. If I follow this
Yes.
simple practice, I will not contract diseases. If there is rainy season, there is a reason why, ancient practices are such that even the diet which is given, for example, even if you take festivals,
Huh?
Indian festivals have, we all have our Indian festivals are basically about food. It's a celebration of food. All our festivals are, kind of, they have their own items that we eat during those festivals, and we enjoy, relish all of these things.
Very true. Yes.
But if you really dig deep into it, there is a proper Ayurved logic behind what to be eaten in which festival. And these
Okay.
practices were not started because, just to enjoy. It is not a
Mm-hmm.
food that has to be eaten for that day. It is a food that has to be eaten for that season. Because if you notice, most of our festivals are a start of something. They're either
True.
a start
Yes.
of season, they're either
Yeah.
a start of harvest season, they're either a
Yes.
start of, it's either winter is ending or summer is starting, full moon is happening. So all the festivals, if you see Indian
Yes.
festivals, because these rituals which have now become rituals are actually based on these Ayurvedic principles and logic, because
Yes.
ancient Indians did have that knowledge of the stars, of the planets, of the earth, and
Yes.
and we started losing out on it because we started
True.
disconnecting with it. But we can
True.
completely reconnect because it is very, very simple. Certain things,
Yes.
certain things that maybe used to grow in a particular place 20 years back, they are not able to
Yes.
grow there now because the climate has changed, global warming has happened. अब वो चीज उग नहीं रही है, that thing is not
Yeah.
growing here. If
Growing.
it's
Yeah.
not growing, no matter how much you're used to it, it will not suit your body because the
True.
climatic conditions of the place are not good for it. They are not suitable.
Yes.
So what?
True.
And another thing besides that, why we need to eat seasonal, or also because it is fresh. If it is
Yes.
seasonal, it is freshly grown, and you have to look at it in a very simple way. When you keep a banana out when it's fresh and you leave it
Uh-huh.
out for a long time, it will
Yeah.
decay. It will basically decay. Whatever
Yes.
food we are consuming, it is going inside us and then it is processing, means it is decaying. It's not
Yes.
like if I have a fresh orange, it's going to stay fresh in my stomach. That's not going to happen.
True.
But why am I eating fresh? Because when it is fresh, that is when it has the maximum nutrients, the maximum energy. And that is the whole basic reason why we need to have fresh food, freshly cooked, fresh ingredients, because the life in the food is only there up to a certain time. Jab, when it is
Yeah.
on a tree, when the fruit is on a tree, it is growing. Beyond a
Yeah.
point, it cannot grow, which is when it falls, which is when we should consume it. But we store it in cold storage. The longer you keep it, the life is just going away. That is why we say don't have packaged food. Not
True.
because it's not tasty, it is definitely very tasty. But it
Yes.
will not give you energy. It doesn't have life. So how
Like.
will you get energy? You won't get that energy from it. You may like it, you may enjoy it, but there is no life in it. So
True.
if you're eating something which has life in it, it will give you more life. That's the simple logic of it. That is why we are eating
Sure.
fresh fruit. That is why we are trying to eat seasonal fruit, because that is the most suitable. Again, different for different body types, that we need to understand, and because we need to understand our body. So it is for a person, for one person, having a lot of mangoes may be suitable. For another person, although it is mango season, mangoes may not suit. So
Yes.
you really have to integrate all of that together and then mindfully make choices in your food. And when you do that, in terms of quantity, quality, or what you are eating, then you will essentially live a healthy life. So hopefully,
True.
when you don't have diseases, you will also be less stressed out. So even your mental health will depend on what food you're consuming, because it's all interrelated. We can't separate our mental health from our physical health or our spiritual health. Everything is, you are containing everything. So you should and must work on all of these things.
Absolutely. I think that was brilliantly put together. A lot of insights there, because food forms a connection with our mind, and what we eat,
Absolutely,
it gets reflected in the way we behave and how we treat others or how we deal with things around us.
Very interesting part about food. Ayurveda also tells about how you should cook food, which is not just the process. Also, what emotional state you are cooking your food in will impact, because that energy will be carried down to your food. So what happens when we go out and eat? If you're going out, you don't know what ingredients they are using, how fresh they are. Suppose you go out to a good 5-star restaurant also, but what energy they are putting into the food, you will not know. You cannot control it. Maybe I had a really bad fight at home and I still have to go to work. That energy the food is going to carry. Not only that, the fruit that you eat, the energy with which the tree was planted, even that is carried.
Yes.
It is so, you'll be surprised to know when true, authentic Ayurvedic doctors, practitioners have to make medicines, or they take herb, or they have to, pluck a fruit or pluck a herb from a tree. They're actually supposed to pray to the tree before and ask for permission to take this branch and to use it for healing, and take that permission that, I need this from you. I will have to hurt you a little bit and I need to use it for somebody's healing. Please give that healing energy. And that is how the medicine is supposed to be made. Now, I don't know how many people are practicing it honestly now, but I know someone who is, and I'm glad to be associated with him. But yeah, that is how I have learned everything. And these are the things that completely took my breath away when I was learning Ayurveda, that it is so deep and it is so simple if we just understand it. So even when if you notice, sometimes, I'll follow the same process. My cook will follow the same process. But, a child will feel like, mummy ke haath ka zyada acha lag raha hai, because the emotion with which I'm cooking for my child, the cook will not have that emotion. So it's very logical. And if you really think about it, these are things that you genuinely experience in your life. You just don't have time to probably take a pause and think about this stuff. But if you do, then it will start relating to you. It becomes a part of how you think. So, yeah.
I can very much connect with what you have said. And one of the very good example that comes to my mind is when we talk about food and energy is prasad that we get at temples or at various religious places. It's very ethereal in taste.
Yes.
It's very different from the usual food that we cook at home or whatever we eat. Maybe the best of restaurants, the 5 stars, 7 stars that we go and try and eat. Nothing compares to that kind of taste and the energy. That's where I feel that was brilliantly put together.
This is an example. I'm going to start using this example.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Other thing which I want to understand from you is spices. And India is a land of spices. Different states have different spices. I want to understand the role of spices in our food system, specifically when we look from Ayurveda's perspective.
Right.
How does Ayurveda looks at spices in the way to treat, say, internal systems, doshas within the body?
Right. So the basic thing what Ayurveda says is that there are five rasas, seven kinds of taste of flavors. Western has five, Ayurveda has given seven because Western doesn't recognize astringent taste. So we
Okay.
have seven. And what Ayurveda says is that every person needs all of these seven in their diet. In what
Yes.
proportion is different. Where spices,
True.
so spices is, if I pick up one particular spice, suppose I pick up a cardamom, it is not that every spice is very heating in nature.
Yeah.
Some spices essentially are heating, but some will be more heating. Some can also be cooling. And all of them, you need to understand what taste it carries and use it accordingly. Having said that, if you really go by traditional ways and you cook local, you cook as per prescribed in your, in that locality. In India, specifically in India, local
Okay.
recipes and traditional recipes were always as per Ayurvedic principle and suitable for that place. For what differs is body type to body type. The proportion of the food will change. The proportion of how
Okay.
much
Okay.
carb or how much sweet you need versus a different person need will change. But essentially, the recipe and what ingredients are being put, what spices are being used, because they were all local. They could not,
Yes.
import from America or somewhere else. So everything was
Yeah.
local, and which means it was suitable. And in what proportions to use was decided. And most of the recipes, local recipes, you can almost blindly follow because they're
Yes.
suitable for that place. Where spices come in for treatments, also spices are used a lot. Now, most of the spices carry Agni. They are heating, most of them.
Yeah.
But some are cooling also. Like if I mix cardamom,
True.
it has a cooling impact. It is not a
Yes.
heating spice, but it is still spice. So it does.
Yes.
So, for example, if I have to treat someone with acidity issues, all
Yeah.
right. So I need to give them something which has to be cooling.
Yes.
If they have burning,
Agree.
right? But
Yeah.
if they don't have burning, then I don't need to give this cooling
True. True.
to them,
Yeah.
So it is very detailed and it is very customized. For every situation, there will be a different spice. Most of the spices are locally available, and spices are something that we add to our food frequently, and they are available in every kitchen in an Indian household.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
using spices correctly becomes medicinal itself. You would have
Exactly.
heard so many people. If you see our natural way of cooking, like we use hing ka tadka in dal, right?
Yes.
Hing is a digestive. Dal is heavy
Yes.
protein. It helps.
Yes.
Logically, it's making
True.
sense.
True. True.
So if we follow our tradition and we don't try to, mess it up with our own creativity, unless we have some logic to it, most of the recipes are suitable for that place, for that location. Most of the spices used are correct. We not only use spices in our food, we use especially for home remedies. I think spices play a very important role because, again, like I said, it
True.
is available in every household and it is you only have to just, maybe make a decoction or boil it, make a kada. Now, kada again, actually, Indian tea was always kada. This
Yes.
chai milk tea came with Britishers and messed up our whole system. And though I don't have tea and coffee now, milk tea and coffee now, but I loved it when I had it. And it's only now we realize that it's not an Indian concept. We used to make kadas and there were different spices were used for different seasons. So our morning drink was warm water with certain spices. And what
True.
spices keeps differing season to season. And it's not that, we can't have sweet. If you if your body type is kapha or, your body type is cold and you need to increase the heat, you will add jaggery to your tea. But if you need some cooling, then you must add sugar. People just
Yes.
avoid sugar as if, jaggery is a great replacement for sugar, but they are both opposites. Jaggery
Yes.
increases heat, sugar cools you down. When you need cooling, if you
True.
keep having jaggery, it's going to mess up your system. This is lack of knowledge. You are not trying to
Yes.
understand the logic behind it. You are just following these either trends or something you've heard somewhere. Everything is not suitable for everyone. Understand yourself. Let's just start with
Yeah.
ourselves. Understand what we need to do, how we need to use our spices. Are spices even good for our body type? Some people
Yes.
are able to digest even the spiciest of chilies. Some
True.
people are not. You can't give
Yes.
both of them the same thing, saying, even if they're living in the same locality, you cannot give them the same food
I
because
agree.
it's not
Okay.
suiting their body type. They are different people. So I
Yes.
think it all comes down to that. Spices, again, play a very important role in our food and also in home remedies, I would say. That is where spices, because it's always available. And yes, we must learn how to use them to our favor.
And you also talked about each body type should choose their
Right.
own spices or food type that they should learn to identify. And
Absolutely.
sweet, majority of people have sweet tooth of some kind. I mean, even I love to have sweets many a times. And in the present context, if we look at packaged food or food that we order from restaurants or hotels or any other place, typically most of these foods have added sugar. So that obviously increases sugar cravings, and most people are to multi diseases, including diabetes
Yeah.
and being overweight or obese, and all of that. So, how, from Ayurvedic perspective, someone can look at adopting or consuming sweets that does not affect their body type negatively, and it's very difficult to completely take them off sugar.
So, as an Ayurvedic practitioner or rather nutritionist, what Ayurveda says is, like I said earlier also, Ayurveda says that you need to have all kinds of tastes in your food, in your daily food, not even like once a week. So, these are all made because you need what is holistic food, what is holistic health. Everybody needs
Yeah.
it. Everybody
Yes.
needs it. Yes, in different proportions, true. Mindfully
Yes.
chosen, definitely. But to assume or to think that, my body doesn't need fat or my body doesn't need sweet is wrong. Your body needs sweet,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
body needs fat, your body needs
Yes.
protein, your body needs carbs, your body needs everything. All kinds of
Yes.
tastes also. Essentially, if we have balanced doshas, our body actually gives us signal. So when we are having sweet craving, it is because there is a need for sweet. But to
Hmm.
understand that, is it because of imbalance or is it because my body genuinely needs that sugar for energy? Because sugar will give you energy, right? So your body's, like I said, the more deeply you understand your own body, you will start connecting with it and listening to the signals
Yeah.
more mindfully and understand what it's asking for. People
Exactly.
live so mindlessly that they don't even know the difference between when they are feeling hungry versus thirsty. So many times you
True.
start eating and what your body is asking for is water. But you
Yes.
start eating, you pick whatever's in front of you and you just start eating. So many times you eat not because you're hungry, but because you're bored, out of
True.
boredom or out of habit
Yes.
that, you put on the TV and you feel like munching because it's like a muscle memory for you. So being mindful is very important. When let's come back to sweets. So different again, when we come to sweet, Ayurveda is very specific that preferably use less processed sweets. Understand
Okay.
what kind of sugar is suitable for your body. Of course,
Okay.
when we have sweets in the form of fruits or dried fruits, those are healthy because those are the least processed. Having said
Yeah.
that, it's not like you cannot have jaggery or you cannot have sugar. It is important that your body knows how to digest every kind of food, but have it in
Yes.
moderation. Understand whether your body type, accepts jaggery or needs jaggery or needs sugar. Understand that both these things are opposites. They will give you
Yes.
maybe similar taste, but their impact is absolutely opposite in your body. Understand that.
True.
And the only way to understand that is if you have mindfully or at least try to study it, and Ayurveda principles are completely simple to understand. And once you have understood, then you'll be able to make better choices. And then, of course, there are other rules like having sweet during the Pitta Kal, which is from, between morning 10 to afternoon 2 o'clock. That's when the fire in your body as well as in the environment is really high. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So when the fire is high, fire is basically, it's your digestive fire, which is required for you to digest the food. Even in the atmosphere, during that time, the fire is high. If you will notice, the sun is also at its peak between 10 to 2.
Yes.
So it's very
Yes.
logical, right? There is completely more heat. In that
True.
phase, when you have sweets, your body will be able to digest it better. It is as simple as that. So
Great.
to have sweets, have it at that time. That will help you. Your body will digest it, convert it into energy, good energy. Choose good sweets, of course, but choose a good time to eat sweets. Be controlled in your quantity. Don't overeat sweets. Don't overeat anything. In fact, it's not just sweets. Another simple thing that people can also follow is that have your sweet before your meal. And we are used to having this again Western concept of dessert where it comes at the end of a meal. But if you notice when you go to these traditional places where food is served on banana leaf and, in South India specifically, even in Maharashtra, during festivals, they serve the sweet before. They place the sweet in your plate before. And the way they place it, if they are following the traditional practices, the way they place it is how you're supposed to consume it as well. Now, what happens from a very logical perspective? Let's just understand why we are doing it. If I'm first of all, I'm coming for a meal because I'm hungry, right?
Yes.
What is hunger? Hunger is my digestive fire has increased and it needs food. So I'm feeling hungry. My stomach is giving me that signal that, give me food. I'm hungry means my digestive fire is at its peak. Correct?
Yes.
Now, when my sweet essentially is little more difficult to digest than a salad or than food. Right? It is heavier to digest. Sweets are essentially heavier. So when I eat this heavy, when should I eat this heavy thing? When my digestive fire is at its peak.
At its peak. Yes.
So I eat it in the beginning of my meal. It clenches my sugar craving. It satisfies my digestive fire. And then when I eat food afterwards, I will eat according to how hungry I am. So what happens is when we have a dessert at the end of our meal, because it is so tasty and because most of us have, sweet is the most pleasant taste. So that's why most of us have sweet cravings or a sweet tooth, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a very pleasant taste. It's the most pleasant taste. We grow up, a child grows up for the first 6 months only on mother's milk. It is essentially sweet. And sweet is the most nourishing also. So whatever nourishment your body gets, whatever happiness your body gets comes from sweet. So don't ignore it. You're going to become a miserable person if you completely delete sweet from your diet. You will not feel as happy, So once I've eaten the sweet, if I eat it at the end of my meal, because it's so tasty, I will maybe have 2 rasgullas instead of 1 because मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है. And at that time, I already have food in my belly. My belly is full. I have food in my stomach. My digestive fire is already engaged in digesting that. And now I'm adding heavier things on it. So putting more pressure on it. So then it doesn't get digested so easily. And that is how it starts getting converted into fat, starts giving you health problems. So if you just follow this simple thing about, just having your sweet before your meal, that itself impacts your health so much. You will start losing weight only with this one practice.
I think that's very insightful for people who are busy, specifically people who work in different organizations. So it is very difficult for someone who is busy in the corporate life, who's spending 12, 14 hours in office, to keep track of the diet that they need to follow. And especially with so much of processed snack that's available around, it is very difficult to track diet. how you look at this aspect of life for corporate people where they can address and try and identify right kind of snacking item. And I'm sure this will also be useful for people who are not in corporate but
Of course.
engaged in their own personal lives.
So, see, Alok, it again comes back to just making mindful choices, which you'll only be able to make if you have understood your body and if you have understood food in general. So, you don't have,
Yes.
I don't have to give you a specific diet plan, or I don't have to give you, rules to follow, that there is a certain lifestyle. You make conscious, mindful choices out of whatever is available to you. So, if I say that, home cooked sweets are the best, you don't have time to cook at home. What is the next best option? You go to a local halwai and you pick up local sweet, freshly prepared, hopefully, and in
Yes.
ghee instead of oil.
Oil.
So
Yeah.
you just have to switch. You are still eating sweet or you are still taking that snack. Because of this busy lifestyle, you need what is fast food? Food that just comes fast. You don't have to cook
Yeah.
it. Why
True,
is junk
true.
food called junk? You are
Yes.
openly saying that you enjoy junk food. How can you enjoy
True.
putting junk into yourself?
True.
It's the sentence
Yes.
itself is not mindful at all. If you're calling something junk food, why would you put it into yourself?
Yes.
If you see it as junk, if you don't see it as junk, it's a different thing. But you are accepting and seeing it as junk. Why are you putting
Absolutely.
it? It's, you're not respecting your own body. It basically comes down to that. You are harming yourself and it is impacting your mental health. It is impacting your physical health. So just
Yes.
making better choice. I am hungry and I need fast food because I don't have time. Have a fruit, have dry fruits. It is available.
Yes.
Local things, go have, even if you cannot, if you are like hungry for food, go to your local vendor, have a local food. If you are in Maharashtra, have a vada pav, nothing wrong in it. If you are that hungry. But in that
Yeah.
also, you can pick up healthier choices. Most of our charts,
True.
if they are prepared properly, they have a lot of like misal and all these things. They are also healthier options than having a burger. I'm not
True.
saying that, vada pav is a healthy snack per se, because it is fried. Unless you
Yes.
are in rainy season when your body needs that oil, then vada pav is healthy.
Yes.
So understand when to eat. Pick up from whatever available choices you have. Pick the better ones. Just put in little bit of effort in picking, because if you tell me, I understand that, lifestyle has become like this. Nobody has time. Nobody has probably time to cook also anymore. But if you tell me that nobody has choices, I will completely disagree. We have so many choices. It is just about consciousness to pick up the right thing. It is not that you don't have choice. You have a choice. You can go out and instead of having a chaat, you can have boiled corn. That is better. It will satisfy your hunger. So when you go to a restaurant, suppose you are going out for office parties and you have to eat outside. You don't have a choice. You go home, you're not going to get dinner because your dinner was out. So yes, you don't have a choice. Now today you have to eat at a restaurant. You need to eat chicken. Don't pick up the fried chicken. Ask for a tandoori chicken.
Yes.
It has less oil. It has been cooked in a different process.
Absolutely.
So make that choice for yourself. Choices are available, whether it is a restaurant, whether it is your home, whether it is the street. Try to choose local. Try to choose whatever is most fresh, freshly prepared. Instead of having a burger at a McDonald's where they use frozen food, which has absolutely no life energy, go to your local vendor and have bunting. It will satisfy.
True.
It is fresher. I'm not saying bunting is a healthy snack to have. Don't deprive yourself of anything, whether it is sweet or any food item, because once you start depriving yourself, it creates misery for you.
Yes.
It will create.
Agree.
Whether you like it or not, it will create that misery. And because of that misery, you will not enjoy what you are eating. If you're not genuinely enjoying and if you're not eating with a happy state of mind, with the emotional state while cooking. Second is emotional state while eating. And all these things, concepts are given in Ayurveda. We have just not studied it, neither did our school teach it. So we have lost out on it. But if we were learning it, if we
Yeah.
understood it, it's very logical.
True.
You would also see, like when you have a big fight with someone close, you don't feel like eating. Even if you are hungry,
Yes.
you don't feel like
Yeah.
eating. Why? Because your emotional
Yes.
state is so disturbed, your gut is not ready to digest the food. You don't feel like eating
True.
because if you eat at that time, you're going to
Yeah.
end up with a disturbed gut. That food will not
Yeah.
digest because that energy is disturbed, because it's the same energy that you are using for your emotions or for your digestion or for anything else. Energy is one flowing throughout your body, and food
Yeah.
is what becomes that energy. Same energy consumed for mental processes, same energy consumed for physical processes. When you're mentally disturbed,
True.
your body will not be able to digest food. That is why you don't feel
Absolutely.
like eating. So you listen to your body and you don't eat at that time. And when you settle a little bit, when then you eat, you will not end up with a gut issue or, a disturbed bowel movement. So we need to understand this at a deeper level.
The way food is cooked is very important, because that's where the problem starts to happen. It's too deep fried, or the kind of oil that is used to cook that food is
Absolutely.
not good, or it has been used multiple times. Then obviously it does not classify as a healthy food, whether
Right.
you're getting it from anywhere.
Right.
Is that people need to understand. Even if we eat something which is we are craving for, we obviously have it in moderation, but try and identify a place which does not overcook it, or which
Right.
uses right kind of oil
Yes.
to cook or fry that particular food.
Be more mindful about what you are eating,
True.
what you are choosing. That's about it. It's not about depriving yourself. Be wise. Make your
Yes.
exercise, make your gut strong so that you don't end up,
True.
so that even if you do end up having something which is not so healthy, your gut is strong enough to digest it and process it and not create
Absolutely.
toxins out of it.
Absolutely.
It's our job to, strengthen our gut also. We should be able to digest everything ideally.
Absolutely. And since you talked about toxins, so my follow-up question is on detoxification. And today we see a lot of detoxification diets, and there's a lot of smoothies that are being promoted as detoxification. And from whatever I have read and understood and researched, is most of these detox diets are bad. They do not work in long term. People spend a lot of money to get their body detoxed. It's not very healthy way to look at things or improve things. How people can remove toxins from the body by eating right kind of food that they should consume on day-to-day basis?
Right. Interestingly, if people are eating the right kind of food, the body will not create toxins. You will not need a detox. The best way to detox is not to add toxins to your body. Eat mindfully. Your body will not create toxins for you. You will not have to detox. You will not need detox drinks. Right?
Yes.
So you keep adding toxins to your body, you will keep needing detox.
Yes.
The best way to avoid, if you are genuinely following Ayurvedic principles in diet, in the way you eat, in the way you consume food, you will not need any kind of detox, because the diet itself. And now Ayurveda is not only about diet, it is about lifestyle. So Ayurveda specifically gives a dinacharya. What is a dinacharya? How your day should go. Very difficult for people today to follow it, because the lifestyle has changed, the way they work has changed, job timings all over the place. So, but if you choose to follow, and if you try to do the best out of whatever has been prescribed, you will not need detox, or your body will not create toxins. Very simple, when you talk about toxins. In Ayurveda, the concept of toxin is called ama. Ama is a much larger, broader concept than just toxin. But toxins is also, so basically ama is something that whatever you put in your body which is unnecessary. And you're not able to release it either through urine or through your bowel movement, if you're not able to release it, it stays in your body and it becomes toxic for your body. It starts becoming either fat or it manifests in some other kind of, issue or disease or cancerous growth, whatever. Whatever you are putting inside which is not required. It's like, if you have a petrol vehicle and you put diesel also in it. It's you're putting unnecessary things. It's going to mess up the vehicle, right?
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
that is what it is with your body also. If you're putting unnecessary things, then these things are getting stored as toxins in your body. Something as simple as when you get the urge to urinate and you hold it. The moment you hold it in, it starts creating toxins in your body. You are absolutely not supposed to hold, urine or urge to go to the washroom, whatever it is. Similarly, even when you feel that urge to eat something, if it is really hunger, you can't deprive your body because that also will create toxin in the form of gas. That will still be toxin, right?
Yes.
So you have to be mindful enough to understand. And these are very little things. If you start practicing that, eat when you are hungry, go to the washroom when you get the urge. Don't when your body is telling you something, understand it and react to it. So yes, Ayurveda also, as medicinally, it gives a lot of, recipes, and depending on what your health issue is, we'll give you a detox drink or something to follow as a lifestyle. But the purpose is never to clear the toxins. And there are processes. There is panchakarma, which is like complete detox of your body from all the parts. Right. So there are therapies, there are processes, and these are all the medicinal therapeutic part of Ayurveda, not nutrition. But I'm just talking about it because, of course, there are solutions. But the solution is not that you keep eating wrong and you keep going for a panchakarma therapy every year. That cannot be your solution. Your solution is only your lifestyle. When it comes to Ayurvedic nutrition, if you're following it, you will not need this. It is as simple as that. If you need, you go to an Ayurvedic doctor, he will give you 10 types of decoctions to eat, to drink, or to consume. And why do these not work over a long term? Because you can't keep doing the wrong things and, saath mein dawai lete raho. That's the wrong way to live.
Absolutely.
The idea, and Ayurveda, essentially, the way it cures diseases is by treating the cause, not the symptom.
Yes.
Once you are balanced, you need to follow a lifestyle so that it doesn't recur. Otherwise, there's no point of chikitsa or cure. We have not cured anything. We are just treating the symptoms, and Ayurveda absolutely doesn't believe in it.
Absolutely.
So, yes.
Absolutely. Who are suffering from chronic diseases, and say chronic kidney disease is one, diabetes is another, and there are a lot of health related aspects that we see in our lives today. What are the aspects that we need to take care of, specifically seeing food as a medicine, the type of food that we should add diet for people who are suffering from CKD or diabetes, that they can add to their food so that they start to see some positive results? Because obviously they are deprived of a lot of food items. Sometimes they've been asked to stick to a restrictive diet so that their body can recover and cooperate better to that kind of food. From Ayurveda's perspective, what are the food items that you see are beneficial for these patients?
Right. So again, I would say that, if I tell you certain food items that you can include, how you are supposed to eat it, or what is the condition of that particular patient, everything is going to be different. So for me to say, for example, to say that, if you are diabetic, wake up in the morning, have methi seeds, yes, it will work for you. But I don't know, if you are a pitta body type and it's too heating for you, it might harm you also. So one size fits all never works with Ayurveda, because logically it's not making any sense. So when you go to treat, especially these autoimmune diseases, which are essentially lifestyle diseases, you understand that the cause is your lifestyle. You need to fix your lifestyle. You need to fix the way you eat.
Yes.
The object of an Ayurvedic doctor will never be a solution that stop eating sweets altogether. For some time, you might have to stop till your sugar comes into control. And then you come to a health state that your body is able to consume at least some amount of sugar without creating any more
True.
harm. That
Yeah.
happen if you have made the necessary lifestyle changes, if you have added exercise, if you have added yoga to your practice. You need to be able to do this. Otherwise, like I said, if you don't consume food like medicine, you will consume medicine like food. Your plate will
Yeah.
have, lots of old people. It's very disheartening to see their plates
Yes.
have one bowl of different colors of tablets, medicines. It's not,
Absolutely.
it, nobody can feel good about it.
That's right.
It's not
That's
a
right.
nice way to live. And Ayurveda
True.
is a lifestyle science. So we are trying to make
True.
you understand to make conscious decisions. I would not like to give you any particular food items because, as
Mhm.
per the logic that I have only been talking about, it's different for every person, and lifestyle
Absolutely.
changes are the only solution to all these diseases, especially autoimmune diseases, or I would say any kind of disease. In fact, physical manifestation of disease is always mental. Even your mental
True.
health, it is very important. It is affected and impacted by the kind of food you are eating, the kind of energy
Yeah.
you are giving, putting into the food. Why do we have this practice of praying before we eat? You'll see a lot of Ayurvedic
Yeah.
practitioners and yoga practitioners do it because it's very simple. Yoga says that your body is the temple which carries the spirit, the eternal,
Yes.
the higher energy. And like you keep a temple clean, the way,
Yeah.
same way you're supposed to keep your body clean. Whatever you
True.
cannot take to a temple, don't put
Yeah.
inside your body. So why do when I pray uh, to
Uh-huh.
food to my plate, what essentially happens is I'm putting a certain energy into the food.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
dedicating it as a prasad to the God which is inside me, to the energy which is
Yes.
inside me. So
Yes.
when I consume this food, it becomes like a blessing to my body. Right?
Yeah.
These things can completely change the way food reacts in your body.
Absolutely. That brings me to the penultimate question for today's episode. What top three recommendations that you would have for everyone looking at food medicine?
Right. So one is, first, start by understanding yourself. Please, it is a humble request. Understand your body type and understand what suits you. Do not follow diets. Do not follow fads. Do not follow what you watch on Instagram or YouTube because everything doesn't suit everybody. So understand what
Okay.
suits you. Eat mindfully. Select options which are suitable for you and don't overeat. Eat when you're hungry.
Okay.
Don't deprive yourself. Don't
Uh-huh.
overeat also. Just be mindful about what you are eating, how you are eating it, and is it suitable? So, whenever you eat something, please ask yourself this question:
Yes.
is it
Yes.
required for me? So, if I
True.
want to follow something like, oh, having soaked almonds in the morning is good, yes, it is good. Do
Yes.
you need it?
Yes.
Do you need it?
True.
If you
Yeah.
don't need it, don't eat it.
Uh, I think that's the
Is it good
important
for
question
you?
to
Is
ask.
it good for you?
Yeah.
If it's not good for you, please don't eat. It's not necessary that everything that's good is good for everyone. It's
Absolutely.
not. It's not. So understand it, be mindful about it. That is the only solution, and make it part of your lifestyle so that you don't have to
True.
follow any diet.
Yeah.
You don't have to make rules for yourself, deprive yourself. If you're eating mindfully, you can eat whatever you want to eat. You don't have to think.
So the last question that I have is more of a personal question.
Mhm.
What keeps you busy apart from work?
Apart from work, I don't have so much of time. Honestly, I do enjoy doing a lot of creative things.
Okay.
I like to listen to good music, occasionally dance, maybe alone also.
Oh,
Just
awesome.
kind of release. I don't read much. I would love to read a lot, but I don't know. Somehow
Uh-huh.
I'm not an avid reader, but I write a lot. So
Okay.
I do spend watching content, but I
Okay.
very consciously watch content, spiritual content on mindfulness and things like that because it keeps me, it
True.
triggers
True.
some more positive thoughts and then I
Yes.
write. So
Yes.
I
Exactly.
write about it. I, kind of process it. And other than that, I don't get much time, so to say. So yeah, I try to do live mindfully, and weekends I try to do activities that enhance myself. Again, this whole concept of, weekend, we just, instead of meeting friends over a coffee or over a lunch, we try to mindfully meet over a trek or over a small, something,
Awesome.
some
Awesome.
activity. I think it helps.
Absolutely.
It's a good way to connect and be more
Yes.
creative about, how you can connect with friends. I'm not saying don't connect. I try to sleep on
True.
time, so I don't watch
Yes.
TV at night because honestly, I wake up very early. I try to stick to my meditative practices because it helps. So whatever I try to, or I'm preaching, I try to first follow it. I wouldn't say I don't have a lot of time, but all the time is consumed in either teaching or planning the sessions or watching some, spiritual content, anything that consciously I also surround myself with people who have a positive influence on me, and I do not
Sure.
surround myself with a lot of people. This is something I do. So you will not find me at a party because I like to have meaningful connections. So I consciously stay away from meaningless
nice.
activities. That is how I spend my time. So I do meet friends, but maybe not in groups.
Yeah.
I meet one friend at a time. Take out good time for
Okay.
them, spend good time with them, and connect and talk about everything, life.
Absolutely. Brilliant, Diksha, and it's lovely to talk to you once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was lovely as usual, and I also enjoy talking about things that I'm passionate about. So grateful for the opportunity, and take care. Namaste, pranam. Live mindfully, eat mindfully.
That's a wrap. Thank you for listening to Fitness Pro Chat by Fiterobic. We hope you had key takeaways from today's episode and learned something new. Don't forget to download and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And leave us a rating and review on your favorite platform. In the meantime, reach out to us on Instagram at Fiterobic or through our website, fiterobic.com. And remember, failures will only make you strong and better learned. Take care, stay healthy, and live a fulfilling life with Fiterobic.